What has the COVID-19 made you realize? Part 2, Reddit Pals, subscribe now. A huge percentage of Americans pay no attention to world news. We have the benefit of hindsight here and everyone is acting like they don't know what is coming next. This exactly. It kills me how so many of my co-workers are like, mesmerized at how I told them what's gonna happen next. We aren't the first to go through this, guys. We should have learned from those who suffered first. It's pathetic, and I hate it. It's time to seize the day once this is over. I'm not going to hesitate to show the people that I love how I feel. Being able to talk to the people you love isn't the same as being there to hold their hand when they're alone, afraid, and in pain. And I miss having them there for me. That really ducking stupid people think toilet paper is a priority. I've heard two things and I'm not sure what to believe. Toilet paper run out on the shelves because it's so bulky. 10 people buy toilet paper and there's almost none left. So everyone freaks out and buys all the toilet paper because of its perceived scarcity, creating real scarcity. China's shutdown is hitting our supply chain now or soon, and one thing we won't be getting a lot of is toilet paper. I was partial to number one, because I just can't believe it's worth it to ship toilet paper from China. And a quick Google search tells me, the vast majority of toilet paper consumed by Americans is made in North America, so it's number one. We are so dumb, that my social anxiety is stupid. Why couldn't I go out and socialize? Why couldn't I try to find a romantic partner? When it's safe to do so, I'm definitely going to try to go out and find friends. Right now, I have no one to depend on, and no one to miss, and that in and of itself really sucks. Loss of structure in school/work leads to downward spirals in depression. Professors are struggling to provide adequate information and have more difficult tests since they are take-home, which leads to a huge disconnect for the students. My university has not provided structure/guidelines for the professors to abide by, so it's all over the place, and in particular, all of them are not doing video conferencing. Spiraling into thoughts of possibly not graduating this semester because of this. My mom's dying wish was for me to walk across the stage for my college graduation, but, with all this going on, my university wants to do virtual graduations. My mom is heartbroken. That loss of income is, for me, scarier than the risk of losing my life. I'm a 28-year-old single mom, I have an autoimmune disease, AHUS, and history of ARDS. I am absolutely in the at-risk category. The state I live in has a safer at-home order, where essential businesses still operate. I manage a home improvement company, and we're the most non-essential essential business there is. We don't do any repairs, just work on making houses prettier, basically. But since we can stay open and my bosses are pig-headed fools who don't take the virus seriously whatsoever, I have two options: go to work and risk contracting a potentially deadly illness, or choosing to stay home, where I would not be able to draw unemployment and I could, and most likely would, lose my job. The thing that pisses me off the most is that one of my bosses came in yesterday complaining of feeling sick. We have no work right now. Stay the duck home, dude. I have 3 vacation days to last me until the end of May, and this company doesn't offer sick days or anything like that. I feel so stuck. I need the money so I can feed my kids and keep a roof over their heads. I wish they would just close so I could officially get laid off and draw some unemployment. Sorry, I didn't expect for this to be so long. I guess I needed to vent. The working class has the most power they've ever had right now. Edit. Speaking from the US, although I'm sure it's true elsewhere. And the downside, likely nothing will come about because of it. I need to learn how to cook more varieties of food. That my mother is an absolute idiot. I literally had to beg her under tears to wash her hands after grocery shopping. She thinks God will protect her. That was a week ago and it still infuriates me. Even if she magically doesn't get sick by it, she could still pass it on to someone else. How a grown adult doesn't understand that is beyond me. How selfish people are. I have lupus, and because of the high demand of Plaquenil, hydroxychloroquine, by people who are misinformed, me and other people with lupus can no longer receive the dosage we were put on by our doctors. I will soon run out and be in a severe amount of pain from joint swelling and rashes, and it will now affect my online classes because I have extreme fatigue and pass out sometimes. It just makes me sad and scared to go back to being in pain. That most folks, even those who make 100,000 plus per year, are much closer to poverty than they are to being a billionaire. Our success is held together by some hard work, sure, but mostly by luck. How fast changes can be made politically, socially, and scientifically when we all collaborate together on one issue. That I can kick my suicidal thoughts to the curb, and beat them back when they come through. I already felt this, but we are so mortal, so fragile, and not invincible. Some people forgot that we are flesh and blood, we are not gods. Also, the fact those in power and celebrities caught the virus shot down their belief in their invincibility, that their power stops them from catching this. As my friend said, whether king or street sweeper, we will all meet the grim reaper. How quickly the environment has bounced back in the last 2/3 weeks. I think we should make a 1-week off holiday, everyone, a complete world shutdown for 1 week each year. Donald Trump could barely make it through 1 week with people's lives at risk. I am afraid of death, especially a slow and painful one. I don't want this crap. That all those conspiracy theorists and doomsday preppers may not be as crazy as I thought. Not saying they're completely validated or justified, it's just that they seem to be way more prepared on a mental and emotional level for all this, and they are better prepared with all the goods that people are panic buying. I'm really lazy. There was stuff that I always said I didn't have time for, but now I have all the time in the world and I just don't do the things I need to do. That we can accomplish a lot more remotely than what we imagined. I'm the director of a home health agency and all of our staff have been working remotely for the past 2 weeks. Visiting disciplines start and end from home and there is no need for a central location. It has been incredibly efficient and is making me wonder why we are paying rent for a building. I need to quit smoking cigarettes because I have the virus and can't breathe at 23. The world is small, really small, and no matter the borders we are all a viral highway. Additionally, it's given perspective to the concept we are only one race, the human race. Why? Everyone is ducking vulnerable. The virus does give a duck what you look like or your ethnicity. If it wants to duck you raw, it will raw dog you until it kills you. That 99% of celebrities are absolutely useless and overhyped. The virus just now made you realize that. I'm even more autistic than I thought. My school and internship location, also a school, are closed, and I'm still supposed to be doing tasks, but I just cannot deal with the lack of routine. I need to go to school to do school stuff. I need to go to internship to do internship stuff. At home is time for home stuff. Now all the clarity is gone and everything is directionless and void. Tomorrow is never promised. I am from Singapore. COVID-19 made me look at things in the bigger picture. While many of us are spoiled by our relatively efficient healthcare, we failed to see how badly affected the other regions of the world are: overwhelmed hospitals, people on the verge of bankruptcy, people having to choose between death by virus or death by poverty. We failed to see how lucky we are, because we do not need to worry about our day-to-day survival. We can focus on working from home, or social distancing, but we have people who chose to leave their homes to travel despite the government's constant advisories. And so, COVID-19 made me appreciate what I have much more than I ever did. That seeing how the world reacts to this outbreak makes me lose any hope that we will be able to combat climate change. People still trying to say it's fake when it's here and people are dying. How poorly we treat our planet. Also, that I'm a workaholic and I'm an addict to the system. When I work I'm stressed and when I don't I'm even worse. I've been breaking out in hives since my first day of quarantine. But it's mainly how crappy we are to our one and only home. I should buy a house outside the city with a garden and more outdoor space. Being inside sucks. I've taken my senior year for granted. I'm currently a high school senior and it sucks that I probably won't see all my high school friends again. It's kinda a bummer. I don't want to be a nurse anymore. Betting on sports was consuming more of my life than I realized. It was robbing me of quality time with my family after work. Even when I made efforts to not be checking my phone for score updates every 5 minutes, I was never fully engaged with my wife and kids because of the pending bet or bets on the back of my mind. It owned me. Now that there are no sports to bet on, I've found myself really connecting with my wife and kids on a level I haven't been able to do in months, and it's amazing. In this regard, I'm thankful for the forced break in sports, and the time to reflect and see how all-consuming it actually was. Not going back there. It's really brought home how dangerous my job is. Before this, I had no problem with saliva-dripping dentures, soiled clothes, and pads, very close bodily contact. Now, I find myself trying to put more distance, but it's almost impossible in my job. How can you help someone to stand without touching them?